welcome to 28 Days and Beyond,
where we talk about our history, our heritage, and our culture.
I am your co-host, Amari Johnson.
And I am Charisma, and very happy to be here.
Hey, welcome to our fourth season of 28 Days and Beyond.
Yep. But this is my first.
That's right.
But
by no means are you a novice to the camera.
Well, thank you.
Right. So we know a thing or two about you, Charisma, is you basically grew up in the entertainment industry.
I did. I'm a third-generation musician on both sides. There was literally music around me all day, every day.
Yep.
I could literally wake up, go to my grandparents' house, and there'd be a jam session of anybody in the living room, from like Norman Harris to anybody that was at the Sound of Music could pop up in our home or at their living room. And fun fact, Rick James was my adopted uncle. Yeah, there's stories with that. Lots of them, actually.
All right. No feet on your couch, though.
No feet on my couch. So yeah, I grew up calling him Uncle Rick, and he was that uncle that would like call and yell at me. You know, when I was cutting up, my parents would be like, "Talk to your niece," and then he'd yell at me, and then be like, "Okay."
Well, that's kind of. I mean, Rick James is trying to get you in line.
Yeah.
You must have been cutting up pretty bad.
The apple doesn't fall far.
Well, that's what's up.
But you're not a novice to this either, and you have a very diverse background as well.
Yeah, sure. By day, I'm a professor of African American Studies, and by night, I'm a rock star.
Obviously.
Yeah, all of that good stuff. So, just trying to spread some good music to the people.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
When's the last time you performed?
The last time I performed, I'm more like a gorilla, right? You know what I'm saying? I strike.
I don't know what that means.
I strike, and then I recede into the night.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's actually, it was back in September. There's an event that I host called the Soul Rebel Party, right, in North Philadelphia. So we did that. And, just working on some new music for 2018, and you are as well.
I am.
That's what's
up. So what does your sound like? Because, just based on us talking a little bit, I'm like, I think a collaboration of some kind. I mean, we're collaborating here. Might as well collaborate on some music, too.
It's that good old solar rock, right? Solar rock is a genre and a state of being. So it's a mixture of all of the best of the black musical tradition into one.
Okay.
What about you?
I would say it's pretty an eclectic mix for me as well. My mom's dad was a jazz saxophone player.
Wow, okay.
So I grew up, listening to the greats like Sarah Vaughan and Billie Holiday, and then my dad was an R&B singer, so I grew up like listening to Chaka Khan. My mom thought she was Chaka Khan,
wow,
so that was fun. And then some pop influences as well.
But your biggest influence is Celine Dion.
Yes, she's the greatest singer ever.
For real, who are some of your influences?
Goodness, there's so many. Love Chaka Khan, like seriously.
Right, of course.
Whitney, obviously. Like, she's one of the women that made me, want to be a singer.
That's what's up.
Vintage Mariah. Vintage.
How vintage?
Like
Sweet, Sweet Fantasy and all that. Okay,
like
got you.
in first album, Mariah, where she was just
back when she was still
when she was just blowing everybody out the water. And Minnie Riperton, I love Minnie. So those are some of mine. What about you?
Ooh, Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
P-Funk.
Obviously.
Nina Simone, because she just didn't care. She did what was natural. And it's Bob Marley. Right. We were talking about Fela Kuti as well.
Okay.
Kind of diasporic with it, like I said.
Nice.
But one of the greatest things about being here on 28 Days with you is that we're going to be able to touch on a lot of topics, not just music, not just art, but politics, current events, all of that sort of things. We've got a great season ahead of us, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back.
Welcome back to 28 Days and Beyond. We have so many interesting topics to talk about today. It's February 2018. There's a lot happening, and there's a lot that's been happening.
Certainly.
If you've been paying attention, which I know you have, there have been a lot of things kind of popping up here and there that people seem to be really surprised by. And I don't know that I'm surprised, but I am a little bit disgusted.
What you talking about, Willis? What kind of stuff?
Well, for one thing, the controversy with H&M and the shirt with the coolest monkey in the jungle. That was one of the things that I feel like people were really taken aback by.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
So they had this black boy
posing
in a sweatshirt that said "coolest monkey in the jungle."
Yes.
And then there was what was the white boy, the white sweatshirt?
I think it said like
whatever. But it was celebrate. It basically was like a victorious stance that they had. Yeah,
like zookeeper or something.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
So you said that you were like, some people are surprised.
Yeah.
You're not surprised.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like, unfortunately, the climate of our country has been one that has made certain groups of people feel much more bold at sharing their thoughts, no matter how bigoted or prejudiced or racist that they are.
So you may not have been surprised by the T-shirt or the sweatshirt. Were you outraged?
Absolutely.
Were you?
I was.
I didn't really catch no feelings, honestly.
Really?
No, because that to me is consistent with everything else that I've seen my entire life. One of the things that I am surprised by is how you can be on Earth in America and act like racism just started to exist. What is it? A year ago now, right?
I agree.
And you talk about these groups who feel emboldened, and I agree. I think that we're definitely in a time where they are certainly much more explicit in it, but they'd always been at least implicit. That's been around us. I mean, it's not like there are 2 million black people in jail or 1 million black people in jail today, and that just happened.
Right. It's been happening.
It's been happening, and furthermore, if there's anything that outrages me, it's the reaction to the opioid crisis.
Yes, that got me too.
Because
my thoughts were, okay, I've had experiences where people that I love, have struggled with substance abuse issues, and there have been plenty of people that have been struggling that went to jail for those struggles. Some are still currently in jail for those struggles. Where was this outcry and this outpouring of love and support for all of those people before it started hitting certain communities that aren't ours?
And on 28 Days, we make it plain, we talking about white communities.
Yes,
it's not a public health crisis until it affects white people, the children of these, senators and congress people and all of that. And I mean, I'm just like, yo, y'all are tripping.
I'm literally seeing, like, every time there's a commercial break on a show, there's at least one commercial about the opioid crisis.
Exactly.
At least one.
So when you combine the opioid crisis, you combine the H&M situation, right? I mean, come on, man. We could pick one every day of the week. It seems like there's something new that's supposed to outrage us. It's like, none of this surprises me. What admittedly is a bit frustrating is to see the black response to these things. We gonna protest, but it's like, yo.
I feel like the black response has been a little bit skewed. Some people I feel like are really, really outraged by it. Other people are kind of, what you said, where it's like, this is the kind of thing that's been happening for a while now. Why are we acting so shocked and surprised? And then the question after that is, well, what are we doing about it?
And that's the question. So you're outraged, but to what ends? So we're gonna boycott H&M so that they don't mistreat us anymore. Once they start treating us right again, we'll give them our money. My particular objective would be, let's take our money away from these people and put them into our own stores, our own, fashion designers. This is how we build ourselves up, as opposed to being like, if they're not treating us right, we don't give them any more opportunities to mistreat us. We go to our own and support those who support us.
And there are tons of businesses that, need our support.
Right, exactly.
That if we, really got behind with some force and some fury, could benefit greatly from us being behind them. Not only with our dollars, but just, just getting the word out there so people actually know that these places exist. Do you know what I mean?
I certainly do.
I think it's a matter of us figuring out, okay, what are the next steps, and then hopefully coming together as a collective to do those things, Well, as you can see here, we get a little bit riled up when we're talking about these subjects because we're very passionate, but we will take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be back with more 28 Days and Beyond right after this.
Welcome back to 28 Days and Beyond. All right, Charisma, so we know it's hard out here, right?
Yes,
it's hard out here.
It is.
But every once in a while, we get a glimmer of hope and excitement.
Yes, we do.
Black Panther.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Wakanda. T'Challa.
I cannot tell you how many times I watched the trailer that came out.
So you excited about it?
I totally had like a nerdgasm over it. I did.
This is a children's show.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yo, speaking of nerds, though, you are actually.
I am, well, by proxy. Yeah, so my brother.
Like, yeah, okay.
No,
just
really.
Own it. Just a,
You know what? Yeah, I'm a nerd as it pertains to comic book movies. So
Only as it pertains. All right, got you.
Yeah, so I grew up. My older brother always read comic books. Had like all the action figures. We always would duke it out with the action figures. Like have all-out battles. Like all the different universes. Like DC, Marvel.
Yep.
And then my parents actually were part of it too, because years later, as we got to be adults, we would cut work or class, whatever the case may be, the first day. Yes, completely irresponsible. But the first day that the comic book movies came out, we would all go and see it as a family. Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's
so we keep the tradition going.
So here we go, right? The Black Panther, which, I mean, come on, unprecedented fanfare, excitement.
First of all,
what's up?
The cast is like.
Because you know what? It's difficult to have a movie with that many black actors and all have them be A-list. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's like every single one of your favorite black actors is in this movie.
Yep.
Auntie Angie. I love Angela Bassett.
Hey, we all do. We all do.
Forrest Whitaker.
Somebody said the healthcare in Wakanda is so serious that they fixed his eye.
I saw the meme, and I tried not to laugh, but I was unsuccessful.
As far as Whitaker. But the point is this, y'all. So there's a few things here. Number one, I am giving in to the hype.
Me too.
I'm also allowing a room, a little bit of room that I may be disappointed.
Even if I am disappointed, I'll never admit it. I'll never admit it.
Because like I'm thinking like I'm gonna be particularly African fly in my adornment.
Absolutely.
When I step up, I'm gonna be looking like, King Jaffe Joffa.
Yes.
My son works. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be up in that joint.
Good morning, neighbors.
You already know. Like that's that I'm excited about going. I want to go to a place in Philadelphia, Black City with a whole. I want us to be yelling at the screen.
Oh, we will.
You know what I'm saying?
You've been to movies with black people before.
Once
we are
or
very
twice.
vocal.
Yeah, exactly.
We're a very vocal bunch of people. But I think even, the comic book hype and just people that have been in love with the story, it's important for them. But I think the bigger picture is that, we need to show up for Black Panther so that we can show that we do numbers in the box office. Like I remember seeing, I think it was on Instagram, Cedric the Entertainer posted a video that Gabrielle Union did where she was talking about how we're treated in the box office. And it was like she was talking about Girls Trip and how, it grossed over $100 million. And people were like, oh, great, your little black movie did great, and it's still even calling it a black movie, instead of just calling it a romantic comedy that did really well, for the box office. So that's why I think it's important to show our spending power and to show that, when there are movies about us, written by us, directed by us, starring us, they're going to do well. They're going to make money because then hopefully we can get more done.
You know what I really like about at least the marketing into this is that they are very intentional about, identifying the black cultural foundation that is this movie and is the Black Panther in general. So I was watching reading an article about Chadwick Boseman, and they said, well, why did you choose an African accent for T'Challa? Like, why would you, if he was educated, wouldn't he have a European accent, perhaps a British or?
Those things are mutually exclusive.
Exactly. But his response, it was artful. He was like, Wakanda is a sovereign nation. That means we don't have to go anywhere else in order to be educated. And he said, I wanted to take an African accent to represent that this is a sovereign nation and we can depend upon our own cultural institutions, our educational institutions, to develop us to a point where we can have and run and maintain a sovereign nation. I think that alone was enough to be like, yo, I'm paying. I ain't going on the bootleg website.
Yeah.
I'm paying to be up in this joint. So I think it's going to be wonderful, and I really hope that, I really hope that this sort of begets a series of movies that really reflect us and our experiences. Even flirting with the science fiction and so on and so forth. So it's never enough times. We'll be back with our final thoughts here on 28 Days and Beyond.
Welcome back to 28 Days and Beyond. Today's conversation was very interesting, and I know off camera we talked about what we wanted to do with this season of 28 Days and Beyond. And one of those things is to really come up with solutions. We talk a lot about the things that are going on, but what is it that we're going to do, moving forward?
Exactly. Obviously a show can only do so much, but one of the things that we can do is to bring on guests who actually are furthering this conversation into their everyday lives through the work that they do, through the communities that they're participating in. So that's definitely, something that I'm looking forward to. But I do have a question for you with regards to what we've been talking about. So, all right, cool. You know, people got mad about the sweatshirt, and there's always, you know, something to be mad about. And then, of course, you know, there's something to also get happy about, which is the movie coming out. But when we talk about actually bringing this, you know, out of the movie theaters, off screen, into real lives, what do you think the actual impact of something like a movie is going to be?
Well, I think the overarching thing that we need to think about is the fact that representation matters. You know what I mean? So when people can see people that look like them reflected in the things that they're looking to for entertainment, that's important because that helps people kind of shape how they feel about themselves. So yes, it's a movie, yes, it's entertainment, but there's a bigger picture. We want to see more of us being represented in things that we enjoy. So I think that's the big picture in terms of what we're looking to do.
You know, one of the things that that I saw as well was a lot of people were happy about this, you know, commercial. They're making toys, Black Panther toys, with a commercial that feature black children, and they're over there, you know, doing things. And I guess that's certainly something, you know, to be excited about. I know when I was growing up, we had limited options in terms of toys to choose from.
Still
that
now,
look like
actually,
us.
a lot of people are still dealing with it. I've had conversations recently about mothers saying, you know, we're still struggling to find Barbie dolls, or not Barbie specifically, because I don't want to target that brand, but you know, dolls that they can play with that look like them. You know?
Right. But you know, one of the really cool things about, you know, this internet age is, you know, you had mentioned earlier, there are a lot of small independent black businesses who are, you know, producing dolls, and I mean anything that we're looking for, who, you know, through the internet can have a wider distribution than they would before. So I would certainly encourage our viewers to, you know, seek those businesses out to support, and, you know, like you said earlier, support those who are supporting us. So I think this is going to be, you know, really interesting. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to, we've got, you know, quite a few powerful guests coming through. And we'll see how we can take this to the streets.
Absolutely.
This has been another episode of 28 Days and Beyond,
where we talk about our history, our heritage, and our culture. We'll see you next time.